Storm conditions from Hilary arriving in California as it makes landfall. Whilst it's not going to make a direct landfall in California, it will track into the state from the Baja California peninsula. It's making landfall right now just a couple hundred kilometers to the south of Ensenada, and it's currently at 29.4 north, 115.3 degrees west. Weakened down to a tropical storm now of 70 mile per hour winds, 110 kilometers per hour sustained with higher gusts. A pressure of 983 millibars, moving north-northwest at 24 miles per hour now, and it will continue to accelerate. 38 kilometers per hour in its forward motion as of 9 a.m. this August 20th. So here it is with its location right now and its wind field, which extends out still 210 nautical miles to the northeastern quadrant, and that means that some of those tropical storm force winds may be starting to arrive over the border now into Southern California. It is 137 kilometers from San Quintin, 296 from Ensenada, 378 from Tijuana, 404 from San Diego, and 581 from Los Angeles. Tropical storm warnings are extending as far north as Point Mugu in California and as far south as midway down the peninsula and down to Guaymas in the Mexican mainland. Hurricane warnings have been lifted as the storm no longer has hurricane force winds. Flash flooding is still the primary concern, and even more so now as it continues weakening. Heavy rainfall is sprawling across the whole western United States, well inland as well. Flash flooding and dangerous landslides are likely all along the Baja California peninsula and into California, Nevada and Arizona. Rainfall of up to 10 inches is possible in some areas of higher elevation. We're already receiving reports of flash flooding in the Baja California peninsula and in Nevada. Over the next few days, it's going to be a very short and straightforward track. It will be long gone by the time we get to Tuesday, where it will dissipate somewhere over the northern interior of the United States, maybe Idaho or Montana, where its remnants will end up. But I expect that it will be untraceable by the time we get to maybe even the 48-hour mark. So it will be a storm that speeds off into the night as it continues on its current projection. 70 miles per hour, ADT, you can throw that out of the window. The satellite estimates are looking really poor and don't have any grasp of context of the storm right now. They're only saying it's about 40 miles per hour. I can assure you it's quite a bit stronger than that. 70 miles per hour though may be a little bit generous. Recon was struggling to find strong winds in their flights earlier on this morning, but I think it's a fair assessment right now, maybe slightly lower. So here's the latest from the National Hurricane Center. As you can see, a very narrow cone. It's almost assured as to where it's going to go. In fact, it could track very close to the center of the storm to San Diego, still as a tropical storm by Sunday evening, moving inland there and then towards the north over western Nevada by late night, early morning Monday. So there's the GFS model showing those strong winds, the green areas there showing tropical storm force winds, 40 miles per hour or higher, and you'll just saw that there very quickly. So watch again now as we reload that loop. Here it comes, and once again, a very straightforward scenario. The storm moving right through the Californian region, and not much else to say, just that tropical storm force winds will probably last for up to 8 hours in some areas, although other parts could have much shorter time spans for tropical storm force winds. Here's the radar projection, and you can see you saw it very quickly moving through there again. Some heavy areas of rainfall. This model animation isn't particularly accurate anymore. We'll take a look at the actual radar views in just a minute when we look at the satellite imagery. Just a quick look through again there. Those mountains of Southern California into the Central Valley could also get quite a lot of rainfall there, and certainly high rain rates, which is one of the main issues for these flash flooding events. Not necessarily the total rainfall, although that does obviously have an impact, but sometimes the rain rate over an hour or 3 hours can be a big factor. Here are some of the rain totals then over the next 7 days, but most of this will be in 2 days, of course. San Diego 2.3 inches, Los Angeles 3.2 up in the mountains nearby, north of San Bernardino, 6 inches there in some of those areas, so there could be massive flooding issues in some of those valleys or where it will trickle down to. 4 inches quite commonly further north near Ridgecrest, 4 inches. Death Valley 5.4 inches there, and that will obviously have big ramifications locally there as well. Las Vegas 1.2, but in some of the hills nearby getting up towards 3, and in other places in the Nevadan foothills around 5 inches, and up further towards the north there as well, some substantial amounts too. So very widespread event with really large areas of flood watches over the interior of the western United States. Sea surface temperatures really don't have a factor in this anymore, but near the landfall zone it's still around 74, you can see there, that's 24 degrees Celsius, and near Los Angeles it's around 20 degrees Celsius. All of these temperatures way too cold to sustain a tropical cyclone, so even if there wasn't any land there, Hilary would really be well on its way out anyway, but there we have it. Satellite imagery then, which we've mixed in with radar this time around, and you can see here that the center of the storm just about getting within radar range now, but take a look at some of the large torrents of rainfall that are occurring in the Los Angeles metro area there, north to Lancaster and towards Ridgecrest. All of these areas getting large amounts of rain at the moment as we look at this radar imagery, a big band that's currently trailing through. Las Vegas had quite a bit earlier on, still getting a few little bits as well, and they'll get more later on. And looking further towards the north, it's a massive expanse, this storm, really being pulled and stretched northwards, Boise, Idaho, and to the east of there as well, into Montana probably, getting a lot of rain, and maybe even into southern Canada now, not far from Winnipeg. And as we zoom out to the full scale of this storm, massive dry air to its west, and you can clearly see where the divide occurs and where the storm begins. Its influence just about to reach the Bay Area.